Again.
All right, I like a lot of the pieces you write. Friday we had what was perceived to be pretty good employment report. We've had a string of positive months lined up in a row. Now, if somebody was unaware of the condition of the labor markets right now and you had to give them an objective kind of overlay as to what's going on, sum up the employment condition and the improvements in your opinion.
Well, from an employment and income point of view, this is still a depression. With luck, it will have taken 7 years to get back to the employment level we had in November 2007, and real family incomes are about 6% lower than they were 14 years ago.
The Federal Reserve and many central banks have used an awful lot of stimulus. Wasn't this liquidity supposed to basically turn the middle-class investor or the middle-class citizen into somebody that had access to credit after it all dried up after the credit crisis? But, is that the way it's turning out?
No. The Federal Reserve doesn't seem to realize that their interest on reserve policy completely nullifies the stimulus of quantitative easing. Quantitative easing was actually contractionary, at least QE3 was.
When it comes to the end of QE in October, is the market really that simple? All this extra volatility we've been having and the Dow now turning negative, is this because of October or is it more?
No, it's more. Basically, you need a stable dollar to have a growing, prosperous economy, and we don't have that. Right now, we're actually in a deflation. In the third quarter, the CRB index, or the value of the dollar against the CRB index, actually rose by 12%.
Now, the stronger dollar, I get that, and I'm not really, I don't really have a problem with that. I understand multinationals might, but is the story really of the dynamics in the U.S. economy pushing the dollar higher? And I know it's semantics to some, or is it just the European community and the Japanese community having issues that translate into their currencies being weaker, whether by design or unintention?
Well, actually, the euro has gotten more valuable against the CRB index by 2%, the pound by 5% in the third quarter. Everybody's deflating. It's just the U.S. is deflating more.
My last question, I think, is the most important question of all. We all know, despite some of the ramblings of the administration in front of the midterms, that the recovery has not measured up to previous recoveries. Is the Fed's strategy to carry the water on its own and to try to accomplish the mission by managing rates lower a valid strategy? Last answer.
No, interest rates aren't the issue. The value of the dollar is the issue. The Federal Reserve has let the value of the dollar go up and down plus or minus 28% while they had the Fed funds rate constant. Janet Yellen's got her hands on the rearview mirror instead of the steering wheel.
Excellent. Lewis, it's always fascinating. You put together some interesting metaphors. Like to have you back again, of course. Thank you, and let's go back to Carl Quintanilla.
All right, thanks so much, Rick Santelli. Doctors at New York Presbyterian Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital saving a 2-week-old baby's life with the help of 3D printing. The doctors were able to use the technology to print a replica of the child's heart, allowing them to better plan the procedure and making the process a lot more simple. Joining us this morning is the doctor who performed that surgery. Dr. Emil Basha is the chief of pediatric cardiac surgery at Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital of New York Presbyterian University Medical Center. Great to have you, doctor. Welcome.
Good morning.
I'm fascinated by this case. What was the condition of the patient and what did this allow you to do?
Right. So the baby was born with a very complex, unique malformation. Lots of holes inside of the heart, different abnormal geometry inside of the heart. And in the past, you had to actually discover everything at surgery. You'd go to surgery, stop the heart, open the heart, look inside, and then decide what to do, how you were able to repair that heart. And we only have a limited amount of time during open heart surgery to do what we need to do. With this technology, which is 3D printing technology, as you mentioned, we are able to actually look at the heart in advance and plan our surgery, and we can actually even cut those models and look inside the heart so that we can actually know beforehand, have an idea of what we're going to do, where are we going to put our sutures, the patches. And for this particular baby, actually, it made a huge difference because he went from having a limited lifespan to a normal life expectancy. He went from needing 3 or 4